The days on market in Florida are skyrocketing when it comes to real estate in 2023. We're going to talk about what that means in terms of the future of pricing in real estate and also break down this whole days on market. Like, where does it come from and what's the psychology behind, how people act around it? So let's jump right into it. Now, what is days on market? Sometimes you'll see that as DOM, and that stands for days on market, obviously. And days on market essentially is from the time that a property gets listed for sale in the MLS or multiple listing service until the time that a contract is received, meaning that there's an agreed contract, an executed contract. So that time of days on market is essentially how long it took to attract a buyer for that particular property. Now, as a property goes on the market and does not sell, those days on market continue to increase. Now, in real estate, there's also a slightly different variation of this days on market that's called CDOM, and that stands for cumulative days on market. Let's face it, sometimes real estate deals don't go through. So if a property goes pending under contract, it still counts in the cumulative days on market when it's under contract. Or, for instance, somebody takes their property off the market. They withdraw it from the MLS. And in that circumstance, the cumulative days on market still continue to grow, even though the days on market have not. And so think of it this way. Another way to say that is days on market is like the actively marketing the property for sale. The cumulative days on market is literally the time from when it started on the market until today. Whenever that day is, all the way up until closing. That's the cumulative days on market. So now that we've got that understanding behind us, let's talk about the cumulative days on market, the days on market, like why people get weird about these things. Well, it was not very long ago, just about a year ago in 2022 is when days on market was at its all-time low, especially here in Florida. And we went down to, in our entire MLS, an average days on market of 6 until somebody could expect a contract. And we know in most cases, contracts were coming in the day that a property goes listed. There was a buyer frenzy. It was crazy. It was mayhem. And it wasn't very healthy, quite frankly. And so it just kind of made the market act a little irrational. Homes went for way over asking price in many instances. I had a particular property that went $175,000 more than anything had ever sold for in the entire community. And that was just the name of the game back in 2022, especially in the beginning part of 2022. Now, what's happened here is that now, today, our cumulative days on market, our average days on market is 28. And so now we're basically over 4 times more days on market than what we had last year, and that slows the process down. The sellers can no longer expect that they get an offer on the first day or the first weekend of going live on the market. So that has changed, and that's something that if you are a seller, you need to know about this because that will affect your expectations and again set the reality for you. So as that happens though, a few different things come along with it. Number one, buyers are not in such a hurry anymore because they were so nervous before that people would come and take what little inventory that there was away from them. And so buyers are a little bit slower to make a decision when there's more days on market. So that is number one. Number two, buyers expect to be able to negotiate more with a home that's been on the market longer. It makes sense, right? So if somebody has not purchased this home yet and it's been 2 months on the market or 3 months or 4 months on the market, well, chances are I can probably negotiate more off of that. Because what happens here is that the buyer psychology starts to change pretty quickly when they see a home has not sold. What goes on in their mind, you might ask? So a buyer is starting to wonder, like, should I buy that home if nobody else has bought that home yet? And am I paying too much at that price? Why has nobody purchased that yet? Or what's wrong with that house? And so that as that buyer psychology starts to shift as the days on market, they're willing to pay less. You know, they're not willing to pay as much as they were as it was a fresh, brand new listing. And so again, as a seller, that comes into a pricing strategy conversation. This should happen with your listing agent about what do we need to do to excite the market in today's market, not last year's market, but in today's market, given the comparables, so that they'll pay attention to the property early when we have a better chance of getting a higher dollar. Now, if you're on the buying side, don't write off a home that's been on the market for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Because what happens a lot of times is that a seller gets more motivated as time moves on, and they may have just priced the property incorrectly from the get-go, and then what they're doing is they're having price reductions to try to meet the market, but it gets harder to get the market excited about their property when it's been on the market for a while. So this is a really good opportunity for you if you are looking to buy a home, is to look at something that's been on the market for a little while. Now, there may be scenarios where it's deserved. Maybe they're still priced incorrectly, and maybe the home has issues that are the seller's not willing to fix, and maybe that is the case, and maybe that listing never does sell. But my point here is, don't just brush them away if they've been on the market for 30 days. I mean, I remember last year, if something was on the market for a week, people were like, what's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold yet? Because that's how crazy it was. Now that the market has shifted, this is an opportunity to really look at the psychology and what you're thinking about it, and be open to the idea that if something's been on the market for a little while, this could be a good opportunity. So let me know, of the homes that you've purchased in the past, how long were those on the market, and what did that make you think about that particular property? And as always, if you can like the video and subscribe, that really helps the YouTube algorithm show a little bit of love. Hope you have an amazing day. We'll talk soon.